So, if you can see my screen, so you come to this user menu um, box, then you create a new pen if you want to, go hands-on. So basically, HTML, the basic syntax for HTML is, let's start with the doc type and HTML. So basically, um, the doc type is to declare that you are using HTML5. There has been a lot of versions of HTML, but the standard version that is being used right now is HTML5. So the doc type HTML is to signify to the browser that, oh, we are writing HTML5. That's basically it. So next is HTML. So basically, let me go back. What if you notice? I'm writing in before I write a particular thing. I have these tags. These are called tags in HTML. So this is the opening tag, and then this is the closing tag. Tags are used to hold elements, and elements are like instructions. Like there are a lot of elements. You have paragraphs, you have anchor tags, you have inputs and stuff like that. So you have to say, oh, do this, do that. So to to differentiate from content in your HTML page and elements, you encase them in this tag. As you can see on my screen, you can assume everybody can see. And another question. It isn't here, is it? Okay. So carrying on, hope everybody understands so far what tags are. Okay. So we have the HTML, and for HTML, you have the opening and closing tags. So the opening tags is is to say, oh, I'm starting, is to like signify that you are starting the, I don't know how will I put it. It to specify that this is the start of an element, and the closing tags, which is this one, for example, is to signify that, oh, you are done writing so and so. So HTML, the HTML tag is the root tag, which is to say this is the root of an HTML page. Everything you are writing in HTML has to be encased in the root tag. Everything, it is the root element. So it has to be there. So I would like to clarify for some, I saw somebody asking about it being a programming language. No, HTML is not a programming language. HTML is a markup language. The reason why it is not a programming language is because programming languages hold logic. They perform, complex computations and whatnot. But HTML is a markup language that works hand in hand with, other programming languages like PHP, JavaScript, and to, they work collaboratively in web development. So, yeah. So the HTML element is the root element. We'll go to hierarchy of elements later. But for now, just take is the root. So anything you're writing in HTML has to be completely encased in the HTML tag. All right. So next, we have, basic elements in HTML, and they include the head, um, the head tag, the body tag, and then also have footer. Hmm. So basically, the head tag is to contain metadata of our web page. So to contain those metadata, it is to, I think it also helps with responsiveness. We'll go into that later, and can also keep CSS links in your head. Hello? I don't know. Can somebody mute their mic? Or if you have a question, you can write it in the dialog box.
Okay.
Yeah. There'll be time for questions, but for now, you can write it in the dialog box if you have any question. Okay. So the head tag is to contain those metadata, and then the body is whatever you want to see on your web page is contained in the body tag. So now the footer tag is, for example, we are on W3 Schools. W3 Schools is a documentation for a lot of programming languages. So now this, just as an example, everything here is the body. While here that you can see all these, links, references, tutorials, example is the footer. Let's just keep it in mind for now. We'll revisit that later. But these are like some of the most basic elements tags that we have in HTML. So moving on, for example, let's say, and as I said, anything you write in your head tag does not appear in the web page. Okay. So you have title. So we'll name this my first web page. As you can see, it did not appear here. This screen is to show whatever we've written here. It does not appear here because it is written in the head tag. Whatever is written in the head tag does not appear on the web page to the user. So going back to W3 School, the title element specifies a title for the HTML page, which is shown in the browser's title bar or in the Pages tab. So, for example, whatever you write in your title, whatever you write as a title is going to be shown in the browser title bar. That will be the title of, your web page. That's what the title tag is for. So the body element defines the document body, and it is a container for all visible content such as headings, paragraphs, images, hyperlinks, tables, lists, etc. That's what the body is for. It is a container for all the visible content that is going to be shown to the user. That's what the body tag is for. So moving on, let's let me see if there's any questions. Okay, there's no questions yet. I'm assuming since there's no question at the moment, everybody understanding, everybody gets what I'm saying. The sign of with them. Uh, I don't understand what you're trying to say, Ella. How can we sign? Are you asking for access to the British school? I don't know. Or is it code pen? I don't know which of them. If it's code pen, when you search for codepen.io, you log in. Yes, you need to sign up if you're using code pen. Then, as I said, you come here and you see when you click it, there's a drop down menu. So you see create a new pen. Then you can, code along and stuff like that. So let's put some things in practice. Now body tag, for example, I'll be introducing a new tag called header tag. So there, so the heading tag have range from H1 to H6. So H1 is the biggest, heading size, let's put it that way. So let's see that. So let's say here, heading. And then we have H6, which is the smallest. So it ranges from H1 to H6. So as you can see, H6 is quite small. So H1 is the biggest, heading tag, and H6 is the smallest. So as you can see, we wrote these things in the body tag, and you can see it on your screen as the user. But what if we had, if we write anything in the head tag, we are not going to see visually as users. It's just for storing, metadata links and titles. So let's also experiment with something like history, for example. Um, so you can see it is a little bit smaller than H1, but bigger than H6. So yeah, basically these are just to specify headers in in your your code. Yeah. So um the next tag we'll be looking at is P tags. P tags are also known as paragraphs. So before we proceed, I would like to tell us what comments are. Basically, what is comments? In any programming language, every programming language, they have their own comments. Comments it's like you can take down a note or but whatever is in comments are not shown on your screen, and like it cannot affect the output of your code, or it cannot affect it because it can only be visible to anybody viewing your code. Comments are necessary because if, for example, I am writing a code as a web developer and I pass it to another developer, they would be able to kind of understand or visualize what I was trying to talk about, something like that. So those are like one of the important, you know, aspects of this. One of the important aspects of using comments in your code. So, for example, um, okay, for example, okay, yeah. I'm writing, I am a girl. Yeah. Yeah. Because HTML is a loosely typed language, you definitely see I am a girl. It's not true everyone at you. But this is not conventional. You can't just write something, out of the blue in HTML code. Even though it does not show error, it's going to affect you if you don't properly, put it in their respective tab. So for comments, this is how HTML comments are written. Yeah. And then you close it here by doing the. So if you see, this is grayed out and it's no longer visible on our screen because it is already a commented code. Can read more on comments in the debutary schools documentation. You can read more on comments. So that's what I was talking about. We have the P tag. So P tag is paragraph. It signifies or denotes paragraphs. So let's say I want to have a paragraph in my HTML, my my code. I would use the P tag and write whatever content I want to write in the P tag. Example, you can say, convention, hello world. And so this is to tell HTML that, oh, I just wrote a paragraph. If you are asking why can't you just write it in as a H1 or H3, because it might also look like this about the same size with the H3. Why can't you just write like that? Why must you specify that, oh, this is a paragraph? HTML gives information to browsers. Browsers view these things. You'll be looking at how, it interacts at the end of the day. But it is important that if you want it to be seen as a header, a paragraph, you specify it by using, the p tag. Okay. So we have other tags. There are a lot of elements, a lot of tags in HTML, and we cover to the best we can. And so next we'll be looking at editors. So code editors are they enable us to write our code, edit, debug, test, whatever. And there are a lot of editors that work in web development. We have IntelliJ IDEA, there's NetBeans, and there's Eclipse, and a lot of them. For example, CodePen is a code editor on its own. We are editing our code and we are also seeing outputs here, which is so but the most popular one and the most recommended is Visual Studio Code. So Visual Studio Code is the best in a lot of software developers' opinion because it has a lot of features, extensions, support, and yeah. So to continue by installing Visual Studio Code. So we'll just on your Chrome browser, you just search for Visual Studio Code download. I will be taking you on a step by step on how to download Visual Studio Code. I know some people already have it, but for those that don't have it, I'll be guiding you on how to get. Yes, yes, yes. We are setting up Visual Studio. Visual Studio Code. For the purpose of this class, please let's get Visual Studio Code. So you click on the first link And then you'll see Visual Studio Code for Windows, for Linux, and for macOS. So depending on your operating system, depends on your operating system, you can get Visual Studio Code. I think this is for Windows. For Windows users, this is for Windows 10 and 11. I don't know if it supports previous version. Like, I really don't know. But if you are using a Windows operating system, you click this to start the download. If you are using Linux, for example, Ubuntu, you can click the .dev or macOS like that. So um, when you download Visual Studio Code, I already have Visual Studio Code on my system. You will see when you open the app, you're going to see some sort of instructions before you can start using it. So I think for those ones, you just click next. If there are checkboxes, you click the one that is applicable, and then you can start using your Visual Studio Code. So for the purpose of this, you know, lesson, we are going to be using Visual Studio Code. So, if you all have Visual Studio codes, what you would do is to create a new folder so that we can name our folder um, HTML lessons. Uh, and just right click and okay, there's no open code here. I can just click my Visual Studio Code and where's Visual Studio Code? Okay. So you can come to your Visual Studio Code. I already have my folder open, but you can just, click File, then you open the folder you just created. So we are going to open our folder, which is HTML lessons, and open it. So we have our new folder structure here. So whatever so this is how we are going to write our code in Visual Studio Code. I'm hoping everybody has, Visual Studio Code already. Okay, thank you, El Abdul, for your feedback. I'm hoping everybody already has Visual Studio Code. So we are going to start with Visual Studio Code. Then we click on this drop down. If you can see my screen, and we click on this little, this icon is to say new file. So we'll call this index.html. This is going to be where we write our HTML file. So we are going to write .html to tell your browser that you are right, your IDE that this is a HTML, this is a HTML file. You're about to write whatever you want to write. And we'll just click enter, and then we have our HTML file. Would let me see if there are any questions for now. Okay, everything is still clear. So we'll start by writing HTML. So just writing HTML, we can see some, stuff has already popped up on our screen. So there's HTML, XML. I told you there are other type of markup languages and other previous version of HTML. So the current version, as I stated earlier, is HTML5. So using HTML5. When we click on HTML5, we can see that it has already given us some sort of skeletal, um file, file. Some a template here for us to use. So as you can see in our head tag, can see some metadata, can see report. I think this report is for responsiveness and stuff. And see, these are just metadata, and you can see the title. We can decide to change our title here and say HTML lessons. So yeah, I can change our title. You can decide to leave it like that. So let me just go to code pen, and I'm going to copy everything that is in the body tag and just paste it here. HTML, Visual Studio Code is, a better code editor for our code. So just click Control S, and when we Control S, we'll be able to save our documents. Then go back to our files, and then you click on HTML index.html. Mm, Open the Google Chrome. Okay. What is the problem? Why is it not showing on our browser? I'm supposed to see this on my browser already. So if we all have Visual Studio Code, for us to be able to directly see whatever we are doing on our browser, we just go to this extensions marketplace, and then we search for live server. Search for live server. So live server looks like this. There are two live servers. Please download the one that has 54 million. Yeah. So we just install it. So live server is just for live reload for static and dynamic pages, basically, like this one. So let me see. How was this one more option? Okay. So moving forward, we would check out other tags and so for elements, let's go here. Let's talk about nested HTML elements. HTML elements can be nested. Nested means that elements can contain other elements, and all HTML documents consist of nested HTML elements. Nesting is that inside inside just like your body system, you have your skin housing everything that is inside your body internally. So inside you have your organs, you have your skeleton, they're all, let me just put that as an example. One nesting is so all the following contains four HTML elements. If you can see, this is a tag on its own, while HTML opens and closes here. Why it closes here after the body is because, as I said, everything are going to be writing is going to be inside the HTML tag, inside the opening and closing tag in between of the of HTML, inside the HTML tag, opening and closing HTML tag. Yeah. So this HTML is the parent element, to this body. So if you don't understand the whole hierarchy concept, you understand the later on. But for now, just take it away. That's this is the child. So HTML, this is the parent, and this is the child element. The body tag is child element for the HTML tag. This is also a child element. This is also a child element. But for the body is also a parent element for both H1 and the P tag. So yeah, that is how basic I can go with hierarchy for now. With time, you would understand, you know, you understand it. So going back to our HTML, you can see that we have this thing called indentations. These spaces in between are called indentations in programming languages in general. So indentations are to make basically it will make your code more visible. So for example now, this head tag, how am I supposed to know that meta and title are child elements? I'm going to not just I'm going to click tab and just automatically indents for me. If you cannot understand the whole process of indentation and so I suggest you get prettier. So prettier is an extension on VS Codes. Yeah, I already have prettier. So you just install prettier. So once you have prettier, and let's say you get your indentation wrongly, and you just click Ctrl S, and my prettier not working. Again, and you just click Ctrl S. It's supposed to just indent it automatically. I don't know why it's not working. Check it out later. It's supposed to be indented automatically for you. Mm. So far, do we have any questions before we move on, before we carry on? Any questions that anyone would like to ask? Okay, no questions. So I'm going to, I'm going to. So, if you downloaded your lifesaver extension, all you have to do is to come to this place here. Mine is already open, and you just click on it to take you to open your code in your browser. To open it in your browser. So this is what we've written and it's being shown in our browser. Once you click it, it's just automatically open in your browser if you have Lifesaver. So now we'll look at lists. Lists in HTML. If you want to list something basically, that's what list is. List is a list. So we have the list is represented by the li tag. HTML will automatically give us the closing tag. So li. We have two types of lists. We have the ordered list and the unordered list. We have two types of lists in HTML. So an unordered list starts with the UL tag, and each list item starts with the li tag. For example, we have let's go back. UL. So UL is to specify on ordered list. And then we have our li tag. So let's say we have fruits. Want to just list out fruits that we know, right? Um, Purple, for example, and then we have apple. So let's create the same thing but with an ordered list rather. Just well, and then we come to our Control S. So if you notice this is our unordered list, and this is ordered list. So unordered list basically does not give a particular order. Doesn't give that is the default. It just gives this point stuff without using numbers or yeah. This is how an ordered list looks like. This is how ordered lists look like. So that's our documentation. HTML supports description list. So there are other type of lists. There's also description list. But the most common ones I use is OL and UL. This is unordered and ordered list. So another important one we'll be looking at next. If you have any questions on lists, in the recorded video is sent. Yes, it will be sent. Sent. Mm, it will be sent to, I think, the Discord channel. Yeah. Mm. Okay, so next thing we'll be looking at is buttons. If you want to click anything, buttons are basically to click when you are. Let me make use of this documentation again. You can see these buttons when we hover over it. You can see buttons of try it yourself. This is a button. If you click it, it's going to perform a certain action or whatever logic is written inside of it. So we'll be looking at buttons in HTML. So basically, the basic syntax for buttons is just button and let's say click me. This is the basic syntax for buttons in HTML. So as you can see, we already have our button. If we hover, we hover over it and see this is a button, a basic button. We look at other lessons, we look at how to style buttons, how to add when you get to JavaScript, you look at how to add logic into buttons and stuff like that. But this is just basic syntax. So now we have, let's say, want to add a type attribute to our button. So there are different types of um there are different types of types. How would I put it? So this type is to say the type of button you are creating. So you have buttons. This button is just basically buttons. And then we have the step type. The step is to maybe the button when you click it to completely restart something. For example, like when you are refreshing, something like that, and submit. Mostly used in forms. So submit specifies the type of button, which is mostly used in form kind of such situations. So yeah. So for this video, I'll be using type buttons. So But bear in mind that there are other types which we'll be using later. Um, that's basic syntax. So we'll be going into images. Let's know and understand how to add images into our our HTML code. So, for example, we have want to include an image into this place now, into this our web page. There are a lot of places you can get images as a developer. One of the ones I use is Textels. Textels has you know, a lot of images basically. So what you can do is either you can link your images or you can download them and put it in asset folder, which will be in our HTML folder. The asset folder will be inside our HTML folder. So let's take this image for example, and we will save save our image to um, save our image to let's create a new folder. We don't have any folder for images yet. Don't have any. Awesome. So let's quickly go back to our HTML lessons and create a folder named assets. You can name it anything, but for multimedia documents, it's mostly by convention. Convention means how it is done on a normal, but you can decide to use any name your for your folder. But by convention, it is normally named assets. That is for any multimedia, document, files, name it. So you go back and save this. So we'll save it to assets and then we save. So it saved our image. I'm guessing we all have an image in our assets folder. Let me see images. Okay. So HTML images. So images can improve the design and appearance of a web page, obviously, because it creates visual appeal to the user. So let's look at how we can, link images in. So for example, we are going to create an image tag. Note that image does not have a closing tag. Image tag, they don't have a closing tag. Whatever image you want to use is going to be specified inside the img tag. There is no closing tag for images. Okay. So we start with image src. Src is source. Where is this image coming from? So for us, you just first click on your what's this called again? Says hey, you just click this and then you get you can see that you have this drop down already. So you have having to go into your assets folder to retrieve. Was it not saved into assets? I don't think this was saved properly to assets. I'll just But you have saved yours in your asset folder, you can retrieve it from asset. So, yeah. So now we can go to our page, and when it's Control S, we can see the image already, you know, visible for us to see. So from this we can manipulate, the size of the image and whatnot, and say, so before I forget, the alt attribute, yeah, is to say that if, for example, me as a user, I get into your web page, and while I'm viewing this your picture, I'm just using an example. My data subscription got finished or something. How I would know that, oh, this is an image that is supposed to be here, is whatever I write in my alt tag. So this alt tag is basically a text. So when you know when your data finishes or something, you can't see images, or again, um for certain browsers, they are like old versions. I think you also affect whatever multimedia you try to add into your HTML. If it cannot for any reason be shown on your screen, the alt tag basically the alt attribute basically is, let's say this is a tree image, would appear instead. Um, I was talking about how we can manipulate the size, height, width, and with HTML over image. So we have width. The width, let's say want to set it to 50 pixels, for example. I want to set the height to, let's say, 50, so, for example. Let's increase this to 150. So as you can see, we've been able to say, oh, we want the width to be a certain size, and we want the, the, the height to be of a certain height. Um, while we progress, we look at ways of, you know, other ways of manipulating images. But for now, this is basic syntax. So we just be covering basics in today's class. So, is there any question? You can't hear me. Can everybody hear me now? Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much. So moving on, is there any question so far? Okay. Assuming there is no question. So um let me see. I think we'll be looking at HTML. Um what else would we look at? HTML forms. We'll be looking at forms in HTML. So forms, for example, this is a basic example of a form. Forms are just used to form tabs are to create forms for the user. So form is to create forms for the user. If you want your web page to have a form, It is specified with the form tag, and so this is a basic example of a form. I'm sure everybody knows what forms do. So the form element is used to create an HTML form for user inputs. So we are also going to have the input element. This is the most used form element. And input element can be played in many ways depending on the type attribute. There are different types of input of type attributes for input elements when it comes to forms. You have text. If you want your form to have text, you can use it. You have video, you have text box, you have submit, and you have button. Basic syntax for forms is inside our form tags. We'll just let me see. We would have action. So the action will specify the URL from where the form data will be sent also when submitted. So for now, let's just write submit. Let's just write submit in action. And then we have methods get. There are different methods in form. We have get. The most common ones are get and I think post. So method is to specify how to send form data. You know, that's basically it. So we just say okay, content goes here. So basically this is the this is the basic syntax for forms. So now we are going to be creating a basic form, something that looks like the one we have on our elementary schools. Something that looks like this, just a basic form. So start with labels. Let's use our label tag. Let's say we want our label to be for want to create something like this first name, for example. You say for let's just say F name, and then our label. Basically, label is to get you this um, on your web page. So if I don't see a label, for example, and I just see this your inputs, I don't know what exactly you want me to write in the input box. So this is a label for me to know that I'm supposed to write my first name here. That was basically what it is. So we'll just write first name and we'll just do so. Then going to have our input tag. Well, the input is going to have input is going to be of type text. We just want text to be passed in the input. And then we're going to have an ID or name. So then we're going to have a name of name. You can start a name. Let me just use something else instead for this is first name. And then we can decide to also have placeholder. There are different input attribute when you want to create form. And try to have a placeholder saying write your first name here. So if you save this and then we go back to our web page, you can see, okay, let me just create break tags here so that there'll be a little space. Yeah, break tags. There'll be a little space. Let's go. Okay, I forgot to. Why is it not breaking? Oh, why is this not breaking? So basically, our form is being displayed on our screen. You can see this. This is just the basic form. You can see that we have a placeholder. Our placeholder is here. So write your first name here. Once you start writing, like my first name is Divine, the placeholder just clears up. So placeholder is like telling you, oh, you're supposed to write your first name here, for example. So that's what a placeholder does. These are basic form to understand the basic form syntax. My screen is not showing. Is my screen showing now? I'm guessing it is. Can you see my screen? Can everybody see my screen? I need a response. Okay. Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, you can see my screen. You can see my screen. Okay. I'm guessing everybody can see my screen. So that's the basic syntax for a form. Yeah. So um what else? What else? What else? What else? Let me go. Yeah. So let's look at the attributes we have for in HTML. I don't think I have gone over us. So the HTML attributes they provide additional information about HTML element. So far, does anybody have a question before I proceed? Sorry, I didn't ask. Does anybody have any question?
No,
Okay, no
ma.
problem. Okay, no problem. So HTML attributes provide additional information about HTML elements. For example, when we're writing this form, this basic form that we just created, we had action. So these attributes are to add additional information. Oh, the action should be that I should submit. I should, get the method is set to get. It is the type of input is for text to, collect, receive text input. So it adds additional information for us here. So that's basically what it is. And In my form, you can see the for and the, I did not even explain what each attribute meant. So type is the attribute that defines the kind of input the user would provide for our form. And then the ID provides a unique identifier for the element. So when we are using CSS, we'll go more into ID and stuff. For now, just think about it as a unique identifier for the element. And then the label, so this label element, sorry, these four attributes is for works hand in hand. Let's put it that way with ID. It has to match the ID. So the name specifies the name of the form, let's say the form data when it is submitted. You can actually read more about it later because the assignment touch on this more. But basically, this is what we do. So back to attributes. So attributes are always specified in the start tag. Yeah, in the beginning. You don't sorry, you don't write your attributes. For example, we had button type of button. You don't write your attributes this type in the closing tag. You don't write it there. You write it in the start tag. So attributes are specified in the start tag. Attributes usually come in name value pairs. For example, name and value, as we have seen, type of button. So it's some type attributes, uh, name value pairs. So basic attributes we have are href attributes. Let's look at the anchor elements. I kind of skipped that. The anchor tag, for example, is just to let's just put it here. Basically. So our anchor tag is denoted with a open tag and a closing tag. So it is to define hyperlink. For example, this link, if we take this link here and then we can use this link, for example. I don't think I want to go into that today. But if we put links into a href attribute, for example, in a button, yeah, we might look into that too. In a button, if you use anchor tag to href in the button, when we click the button, it's going to take us to that particular link. So that's basically what anchor tag. And then we have the SRC attributes. So another important attribute is SRC. I think SRC means source. The source is to specify the path of the image, wherever the image is coming from. If you have it directly, if you have it as maybe a link, for example, we have this picture. If we copy link address, we can use it in our SRC and we can, get the same image. Let me copy image address and come here. Then I paste it and then I save and go back to my code. I can see the image on my screen. Okay. I able to see the image on my screen. So if you don't want to, for example, download the image, you can just copy the image link and use it in your SRC attributes. There are two ways to specify URLs in the SRC attributes. Number one is absolute URL, links to an external image that is posted in another website, as I just showed now. So this is an example, just like what we have here. You just copy the link and pasted it here. So that link is to take us to to an external image that is posted on another website. Note that external images might be under copyright. If you do not get permission to do this, you may be in violation of copyright laws. For example, if you go and take a picture that uh, you know how copyright works. You take a picture of somebody, all of it, and use it on your webpage, and the person does not even know about you. You never reach out to the person. All of a sudden, the person opens your web page and they are seeing their picture. You can actually see it of that. So be careful when you see pictures on your website. So you have relative URL. So relative URL links to an image that we posted within the website, just like we did in our asset folder. We created our asset folder, then downloaded the image and used it. But I think this place is Texels is a very good website for getting free images, and I don't think anybody is going to see it for anything. I don't know if there are pictures that are under copyright on Texels, but basically it's free and very clear pictures you get on Texels. So that's what I was saying. We will just specify it. If you are even downloading your image, you can decide to name your image, just like this one, image.scale. And decide to name it this. Let me put that. Um, Let me go to Pexels, download another picture. Let me download the picture of this goat and save it to asset. And let me change it to goat picture. Goat picture. And I save it in my assets. So I can see it in my assets folder. I'll just come to, let me go to this one so it's being properly saved. So I can see it in my assets folder. So I can just come here and in my assets folder, I just use my goat's picture. And when I come back to Control S, then now I can see my goat picture on my screen. So that is an example of relative, how to, use relative URL, how relative URL works. It is almost always best to use relative URL because they will not break if you change the name, width and height attributes. So just like we used in our image tag, width is to specify the width of the picture, and then an attribute to specify the width of the picture. Then height is an attribute to specify the height of the picture. Once again, attributes are to provide more information on elements. If you are just put this picture in our image tag without specifying width or height, it will remain that way. but want it to look a certain way. And so that's why we use this width and height attribute. So in W3 School, you can see that the image tag should also contain width and height attributes, which specify the width and the height of the image in pixels. So standard, should I say measurements is pixels. So we'll be looking into other ones later. There are a lot of them, but for now, that's like basic pixels. So we have the alt attributes. The required alt attribute for the image tag specifies an alternate text for an image. If the image for some reason cannot be displayed, I think I explained this earlier. This can be due to a slow connection or an error in the SRC attributes, or if the user uses a screen reader. So at the end of the day, if for any reason your image cannot be displayed, it should show that, and you want your user to know that there is an image here. For example, on my Visual Studio Code, I can come and write it's a goat image. This is the image of a goat. Yeah, I can decide to write it there. So that if for any reason the user cannot see it on maybe their browser or whatever, the alt tag is going to be displayed instead. So does anyone have any question about the few things I just explained? No. Okay, I'm not seeing any question. But if you have any question, please don't forget to um talk about it in the dialogue box or ask about it in the dialogue box. Okay. So, moving on, we have okay, the style attributes. So the style attribute is used to add styles to an element, such as color, font, size, and many more. For example, we had a paragraph, tag earlier. Where is that paragraph? That is paragraph. And remember, we are going to write whatever attributes we have in part of the tag, not at the end of. Oh God, I didn't close this tag. This is a mistake. I didn't close it, but I mistakenly used H1 instead of H6 in this closing tag. So HFS is a very loosely typed language. If you make error, nothing is going to flag it that, oh, you made an error here. It's not a programming language. So when you come to JavaScript, like, you can't afford to make such mistakes. So in our style, let's say we want our color to be red. We write color red. So if we save this and we go back here, you can see that our paragraph is now in red color. Those style attributes are just to add, color, font, size, and many more. So I think if we also write font size, let's say we want our font size to be 50 pixels, and we save, we'll go back and see that it is now 50 pixels. Whatever you want to tweak in the style, as it is said here, is what the style attributes is used for. So we have the lang attributes. You should always include the lang attributes inside the HTML tag to declare the language of the web page. This is meant to assist search engines and browsers. The following example specifies English as the language. So I don't know if I've ever tampered with my language, the language attributes before. I always set it to English because so we speak English and a lot of people we want your webpage to also be in English. So I think that is what the lang attribute is for, to specify the language, and it is as the roots element, that is HTML tag. So yeah, that's that. So country codes can also be added in the languages. For example, you want US English or UK English, you can add it just as the and then we have the title attributes. The title attributes define some extra information about an element. The value of the title attributes will be displayed as a tooltip when you mouse over the element. Yeah. So, for example, we come to our Peter and want to add title to our Peter. Just write mm, the title and try to write title here as the content. So when Control S, when we go back here and then we hover over our Peter, this is supposed to show as a tooltip. Am I getting something wrong? I am not. So what's the problem? Supposed to, be like a tooltip. I don't know why it's not working. But and another place we use the title is here. We use title to say, oh, this is HTML lessons, and we can see it um here in our browser. We can see that this is the title of the web page, HTML lessons. So that is one of the usefulness of, of using titles our head page in our head tag rather. You can't see it in the body, you can't see it in the content, but it's specified, there. And then next we have the um, so it is said that please do not use, you know, uppercase in writing attributes. It means uppercase. HTML will not flag an error. I've said it again. HTML wouldn't. Okay, please, about adding the image, I'm not getting it. Can you re-explain it? Thank you very much, Rufai, for your question. Let me go back to explaining images. If I want to add an image to my web page, I'm going to first of all specify with the image tag. Note that image tag is not it does not have an open tag, does not have a closed tag. It is just one tag. When we were writing every other thing, like when we had form action, we had form, we had ordered list and co. We always had a start and close tag. There are some self-closing tags too in HTML, but the image tag just looks like this. So whatever you want to specify, the source of the image, the alt tag is like the alternative for when the source, the image does not appear on the browser. You can add whatever style, whatever attributes you want to add. you put it after you write your image. It get that in mind. So, for example, we want to, as I said, I'm using pexels to get the image. This guy playing guitar, we like the picture, I want to add it, but we don't want to, download it into, we use locally. You can just save image as, sorry, and just copy image address, and then we can come here and write our SRC attributes, which is also SRC means source, but in short form. So this is to say the source you got. Where are you getting your, you know, so we just control V, we paste it here, and then we have it here. So alt tags, alt rather attributes is to say if for any reason this image cannot be visible on your screen, what should happen? So the alt attributes, let's say we say man playing guitar. So man, if I see man playing guitar, I'll know that, oh, whatever image that was here was of a man playing a guitar, even though I can't see the image. So a lot of reasons, a lot of reasons why we're not able to see your images for this alt tags, right? Alternatively, if you cannot see this image, you can see my text basically. So if we control save this and then we put our HTML lessons, we can see the picture of the man playing the guitar. But let's assume we have the image on our local, on our local machine and we want to use it. It is best practice that in your folder, the one that has your index or HTML file, you should create your asset folder. Asset folder is to hold multimedia basically. Any multimedia you want to add to your your HTML code. Um, so this goat picture, we downloaded it. Let me once again download another one. I can decide to download this picture, save image as, maybe I'll name the image roads, the road and trees. And I decide to save it to assets. I save it to my assets, as you can see. Then I save. Once I've downloaded it, how I'll be able to use this image is going to be those. Once again, for that image, then source. This time will be that you are going to search for it. You know, I think called backtick. No, not backtick. Flash. I don't even know what they're called. Yes. So just use this, and then you enter your assets. Say that this image is in my asset folder, and then you have pictures. So we just save road and trees, and we just put it. Yeah. So all these road and trees like that. When we save, you can come and see our picture appearing here. So that's how you can, use link and get pictures that are locally downloaded to be displayed on your web page. But it is like not conventional, it is advisory that you have your pictures in your asset or your multimedia in your asset. Yeah. And as I mentioned, let's say you want this image. I say, this image is too big. Oh, I want to reduce it. You can just specify the width and the height. You can say we want this to be 200 pixels, and we want the height of this to be also 200 pixels. And then we'll just let me also use it for this one. We want both our pictures to be width and height of 200 pixels. So we save this and then come here and can see that our picture is indeed that height. I think that's basically all for this stuff like that. So where are you getting your images from? The site name. So the name of the site is called Pexels. It has free images. I don't think you have any copyright issues if you get pictures of Pexels. Yeah, it has free photos and yeah, images and also videos too, and they are clear. So yeah, that's where I get my pictures from. You can just search for pexels.com and get a lot of pictures. So Rufai, I don't know if I was able to answer your questions about adding images. I really do not know if I was able to answer your question. I hope I was able to answer it as best as possible.
Yeah, you've answered this very well. Yeah, I
Okay.
understand.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. So let's carry on. So we have headings. We've already talked about headings, each one is the how H1 is the big heading size, and H6 is the smaller, size for headings. All right. And then we talk about paragraphs, then we talk about styles. So we wouldn't deep dive into styles because we use CSS. Probably in our next class we'll start CSS. So CSS you know is going to handle every style you want. So let us put that we can write basic styles like what I did here in our HTML, but CSS is going to handle the bulk of style for us because it's a style language. All right, we have HTML formatting. Okay, we have formatting elements. For example, we have B for bold text. So this particular ones, like formatting elements, are to display special types of text. For example, as you can see, say, oh, this B is to say, make this a bold text. It's an element. There are elements that say that oh, this text should be a certain ways for text for formatting text. So we have I is for italic. Let's just do a few examples of that. So we have let's say I. So this text is italic. From this text is flowing, and then I use B. Text is full. Then we save this, and then you come here. I start using this. If you save this and we hit this, on here. Let me break this so that there'll be space. So break tags basically are used to create spaces in between, like I used to say, oh, go to the next line. That's what break tags are. For example, if I'm writing this text is italic and in the middle I use a break tag to this would break to the next line. Every content I write after this break tag is going to just go to the next line. So let me Ctrl S this. So as you can see, this text is italic. The italic is shown on the next line. I'm going to just break for this one, 100x. And then this text is strong and this text is bold. Those are those basic text formatting elements that we have. Yeah, Yunus, thank you for answering. You can also get pictures from Unsplash too. There are a lot of free resources when it comes to getting images, free images. Yeah. So let's see. What else? What else? So let's make this code look, let's say, prettier. As you can see, when we come here, we see the way our code is not structured. It doesn't have this type of structure. We're just writing anyhow. We're just writing anywhere below is in code. We would use div tags basically for, making it look better and more structured. For example, let's go to HTML, to the HTML div tag. Div is a div tag, the section with documents. The div section, no, okay. This is just the div tag. Where am I? Okay, div is like, should I say, I think the full meaning is division. It's just like give structure, you know, HTML. So yeah, basically. So the div tag defines a division or a section in an HTML document. The div tag is used as a container for HTML elements, which enables them to be styled with CSS or manipulated with JavaScript. The div tag is easily styled by using the class or ID attributes. Class and ID attributes will be treated more extensively when we start CSS. And any source of content can be put inside the div tag. By default, browsers always place a line break before and after the div elements. So let's look at how we can use the div elements. So for example, we want all our heading tabs to be in one div. So just cut this out and then we paste it here. And then just to make this look a little better, so you can decide to put this here into another div and put it into another div. It's just division. Div elements come in handy when you are working with CSS. Like I said, we wouldn't go deep into it until we start CSS. Obviously, we just want it to look okay with both. If we save this and then we go back to our you know, our let me put this one in one the HTML page. You can't really see, but there has been more space in between this and this headers and then this picture. So let me see. Need another one. Just okay. Yeah. And then what else do? So, I hope we are all going hands on with this tutorial because there'll be assignments and you would have to submit them. I hope everybody, am I too fast? We are following hands on, or am I, okay. All right. UL and div function. If I think you can actually unmute your mic and you can talk. What exactly about the UL and div do you not, understand? Or you can write it out so that I'll go over it again. Isa, are you there? Okay. Um, I don't really get what you're trying to say. Okay, please, can you ask your question? I don't really get what they are trying to say. Do you not understand how UL is used and do? Just ask. You can unmute your mic or you can just write it in the dialog box. Since you didn't ask, I'm guessing you would ask, okay, how to apply the div and the UL. Okay, right. So, UL is okay. How to apply the div and the UL. So, I'm guessing your confusion is coming because you saw that I use div in my unordered list. So let's say I want to do something like, um, you know, let's say I want to set, I want, when we start styling, we will start setting classes. So let's say my CSS, I make this OD to look a certain way. Yeah. I don't know if you get it would apply because they are all under the division and I'm going to call in my class here. But for now, just look at it as a way to section out so that everything will be clustered and stuff. So the UL is just for unordered list. ULs are for unordered list. So this is our UL. This is our UL there. And in our UL, we have lists. So this LI is for lists items. So yeah, we have mango. That's realistic fruit. We have mango. Can type add banana to this. Can type add banana. So this is just basically for we have something we want to list out. That's basically what it does. Did I answer your question, sister? I'm hoping I did.
Yes, I understand.
You understand?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much for your question. Um, is there any question that anyone would like to ask? Okay. So once again, these are like containers or sections to give structure in your when writing, HTML and stuff like that. These element does not like explicitly mean anything. It does not represent anything. It's just used to group content, so it can easily be styled, as I said, in while we are working with CSS. Yes. So yeah, that's basically what the okay. So have we all been following once again? All right. So we'll go to let me see if there's something I've not covered. Let's start really and all. Okay. So if you want to, let me add, if you want to, read more about HTML, even CSS, wants guidelines and stuff, you can read documentations. So some of the best documentations, like using these tutorials, W3 School. There's also one that is widely known. I think it's MDN, MDN Web Docs. So MDN Web Docs is another um documentation for web dev. I think published by Mozilla. Yeah, I think Mozilla Firefox. So documentations are just for you to read and understand how languages work better. And as you progress, you realize that documentations are important because what if there's a certain change that has been made to the programming language that we are working with, or certain code has been depreciated, we can't use it anymore. We stop. Maybe there's a new way of writing that. Keeping up with documentations of for that language is going to help help to keep you on track. So MDN web doc is for the documentation for HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and really popular. And there's also WC School, which is also popular. So what we're looking at next is colors. We'll work more with colors when we start CSS, but for now, so HTML colors are specified with predefined color names or with RGB, text, HSL, RGB, or HSLA values. So there are different values for specifying colors. For example, you have this red. You use when we're writing a paragraph, we styled it to have a red color. So if you don't want to write it explicitly red, there are other values for specifying color names. So for example, you want you want to change this to, let's say this is want to change this common hex value. Okay, let me teach you this way. One of the common values for color specification is hex color value. Hex codes for colors. Why I feel hex codes are widely used than just the color instead of saying red. There are like a lot of shades of red, like just red has a lot of shades. So if you want to get the specific type of shade or color, for example, this WT school, they have this green. We want to get the specific shade of green. That's when you use hex colors. Like if we have our Visual Studio codes installed and we are working in Visual Studio, once we hover over this red, you can see RGB. This is RGBA, and if you click it, you can see that this shade of red is FF0000. That is the hex code for it. You can read more on hex code later, like just browse and see. But if you click this part of the color palette, you can see A02929, which is also a hex code for another red color that are in a different shade. So basically, hex codes are better when we start working with CSS. We use the hex code for color, instead. So, mm, so, so we can set color of borders. We you know, for the you can set borders and also mark it with colors. You can style borders. For example, let's go back to our form. So let's say our form is contained. We put our form in a container, and the container will be a media, and it's yeah. Up. So now we want to style it to have a border and want to also for color. Are we to finish HTML today? Basically, no, because when we are working with CSS, we still be working hand in hand with HTML. Kind of leave HTML. They all work hand in hand, even when you are using JavaScript. HTML, like I said in the beginning, it's just a markup language that work hand in hand with CSS and JavaScript to make your web page what it is. You can't just use CSS alone when you're when you're using three of them have to work together. So you would cover a lot of tags and a lot of things that happen in HTML. While we are also covering CSS, we'll still be revisiting them. So if you don't understand them fully, we'll still go over it again. A lot of things will still, go over them. We just entered a site. What's the site place? Okay, this site, we just search for MDN web docs. Let me just get this, copy this, put it in the chat box. So this is the site. It is a documentation that's written by Mozilla Firefox or HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. You can get a lot of information there. And I also spoke about the importance of reading the documentation as the developer. So, uh, thank you for your question. It's appreciated. So, that's what I was talking about. Let's say we want to style this. We'll come to our div and we'll just style. We should have a border of 2 pixels and solid. I'll cover those borders shortly. Let's say we want what color? BBBBB. Sorry. We want a gray color. Yeah. We want a gray color on our form. Let's go to S2. Come back here. So we now have a gray border. We can't see this. Let me put a D for this other things. And just be one side. Alt up. And this. So, so we want a 2 pixel solid border. So this solid is a property for setting border width, for setting border style, sorry. There are different types of borders. Let me make this bigger so that it will be easy to understand. You see. Let me also make this a bold color, not gray. I can give you this color instead, this sharp red. And then Control S. As you can see, we have our border. It's very beautiful. Let me duplicate this form. Let's duplicate this. Just oh, let me duplicate this. I have another one. I have another one. Let us have a look. If you save this and we come back here, let me break this. Let me put break tab so that this will break. Mhm. Get this break twice. For now, we're just using break tab. Control V. Control V. Yes. I don't know why Prettier is supposed to handle indentation, but for some reason, my own Prettier is supposed to be pretty today. So I have to just manually indent this myself. So if we save this and we go back here, you can see our form. So the border is that anything that is, if we put the border, this border side inside in our div, and our div serve as a control, anything that is inside this div is going to be affected. Is going to be affected. That way. So if I write H1, let's write H1 here. Let's say I have a header and it is here. Let's say to this header, I want to also make it so big. Like style, font size, or say 200 pixels, for example, and I save this and I go back, I can see that my border is still there. So basically, just look at this as a container. Everything that I specify in my div is going to, anything you write inside your div is going to be affected if you style your div, because the div is acting as the parent element. You know, we talked about parent for everything that is in it here. The form, the label, input, whatever, they are all children to the div element. So, um, so does anybody have any question now, or is it flowing? I don't know. Okay, no questions. Let's go back. So I was talking about border property. So
A little bit fast.
I'm a little bit fast. Okay, thank you very much for specifying. So um so now this is just a shorthand way for writing everything about border. If we wanted to say, oh, we can decide to write border with 10 pixels, border style, which is solid as write border style solid, border color different. But then once you just write border and you write 10 pixel, the property and the color, it's going to you whatever you write here, as you can see when we hover on this, shorthand property for setting border, width, style, and color. So whatever you write there, you wait assume that, oh, this is the width you want your border to be. How should I say thick do you want your border to be? Then you have the style. So there are other styles for when using borders. There's the dashed. There's a dash border type. If I control S this and then I come here, I can see that my border is dashed. So it mustn't be solid. I think there are other border styles. Let me search for border. The other border styles apart from let me processing border. Yeah. So there's dotted, there's dash, solid, groove, ridged, there are a lot of border styles, but yeah. You can play around few styles and look into it. But yeah, so yeah, that's that. So those are basic order styles. Yeah. Next we have links in this general. So links are found in nearly all web pages. Links allow users to click their way from page to page. HTML links are hyperlinks. You can click on a link and jump to another document. When you move the mouse over a link, the mouse arrow will turn into a little hand. We'll look at how to, links and okay. We'll look at how to write links. And a link does not have to be a text. A link can be an image. If time permits us, we can also see how we can add links into images. Yeah. HTML links, the syntax. So the basic syntax or HTML thing is with the anchor tag. Let's say we want inside this our div that has the so let's say our anchor tag. So we'll say it's ref, and there'll be a URL. It's the URL. And then the anchor tag would have some content or stuff. It would have maybe link text, whatever. But that's just the basic syntax for writing, tags. For writing for links in HTML. The most important attribute of the A element, A here referring to anchor tag, is the href attribute, which indicates the link's destination. If, for example, deep dive into this when we start HTML, but if whatever content I have in between my anchor tag is clicked, whatever link I put in my href is going to take me there. An example of this is when I hover over this button. We'll look for when I hover over this button, if I click it, it's taking me somewhere. That is because this button had had a href attribute set to it, so that when you click this, it's going to take you to whatever URL was set inside there. So clicking on the link text will send the reader to a specified URL address. And by default, links will appear as follows in all browsers. An unvisited link is underlined and blue. A visited link is underlined and purple. An active link is underlined and red. We'll see how we can implement these links and file them with CSS if we don't want the default look. Or by default, when you write links, that's how they are going to look like. You'll be an unvisited link to be underlined and blue, a visited link to be underlined and purple, blah blah blah. So, mm, so um so if for example I set, let me see, Control F, be there, let me see, be there, and I S this, and I come here, just as it said here, is an unvisited link. That is to say, this link has not been clicked. It's underlined and it is blue. If you can see it here. Let me add style to this so that it will look bigger. Style, font size, or let's see. So if we hover over this, you can see that our mouse, it has this pointer hand. That is to say, oh, there is something here. So if we add the link to, let's say, we want to get the link of pexels.com. And then we put it here. And then we save. When we come to our HTML lessons and we click on this link, it's going to send us to pexels.com. I hope you are following. So because we put this link inside our href, when we click on this, okay, why did this break? What's happening? Let me restart this over again. Yeah. So because we had a link, a URL. Okay, there are no questions yet. Written in our href attribute that was inside our anchor tag. Once we click this, it will carry us to this website. So you can use links to switch from page to page. If you have a navigation, if you want to start creating navbars, you can add links to your navigation so that when you click it, you take to a certain page, So that's basically. You can have buttons in links, you can have images in links, like different, For example, we have we have an image instead. Let's say this is our image. Let's say we get this image, Ctrl C, and then we use it here in place of the text. And then we click on this. If you notice, when we are on this regular image, the same image we use, because we didn't have any link, if we hover over it just by hovering, we still see this our arrow-like cursor. But because this image has a link on it, you would see this pointy finger kind of cursor there. I don't know what they are called. I think they have their respective names. But if you click on this, it's taking us to pexels.com. So that's just an example of how links, the href attribute works, and how links can be used. That was a basic example while writing HTML. Okay, you can put link to an email address, anything like can have a link. Obviously, any page you are on in your browser has a link. While I'm on the British school, this is the link. If I go to try it yourself, it has another link here. So any page on your web browser has has a link. So, yeah. So yeah, you can use buttons as a link. Buttons basically if you click it and a particular action is supposed to happen. So that will be, you can have your buttons as links, and you can also have, titles on links. Yeah. Um, I think that's the basic of links. Then we've already covered images. Covered images. So we covered lists. Let me see. We've not covered tables. So far, is there any question? Has everybody that is coding along been following?
After the class, I will to get the videos.
You say?
After the class, I will to get the videos. You just
Yes.
need
Yes, you would get the video. Yeah, you get the video after the class. Yeah.
so that I wanted to imitate
Okay, no
other
problem.
podcasts.
Yeah. And you can also reach out to me on, you know, my own Discord or on WhatsApp. I'll drop my number because I'm more active on WhatsApp. So you can just send any questions you might have to me on WhatsApp.
Okay, I can chat you out.
Yes, yes.
Okay, that
So
will
let me
be it.
uh
Okay, then. Thank you.
yes, yes, you're welcome. So if you have any questions after the class, you can just chat me up. This is my number here. So, or we also have sub mentors. Sub mentors. If you are a sub mentor on this call, please signify by raising your hand. I thought sub mentors are supposed to be on this call. If you're a sub mentor on this call, please signify by raising your hand so that we'll know who to reach out to. Yes, thank you, John. Yeah. So John is also a sub mentor. John, can you drop maybe any of your socials where you are more active, your number or so, in case I have something doing, you can reach out to John. It's an excellent tutor as well. You can answer whatever question you have. John, thank you very much. Yeah. So looking at HTML tables, HTML tables allow web developers to arrange data in rows and columns. Mm. You can create tables in HTML with the table tag. So tables, first of all, have their basic syntax is where would I add this table? Let me create a new table. And then we use the table tag to specify when we want to start writing a new table in HTML. So other element tags we have are TR and TD. Sorry, TR and TH. And we also have TD. So TD stands for table data. TR stands for table row, and CH stands for table header. For example, want to create a 3 column, 3 row sort of table. So we first, you know, put our TR, which is our table row, and then I think our TH, which would be, for example, name. I hope I'm not being too far. Phone number and address of this, and then you also have address. So if you save this and then you go back to our HTML, you can already see. Let me break this so that there will be space. Let me use my VR tab. VR. That's not great properly. So you can see that we already have the table, the table head already listed out. So when we want to create a new row, we'll use TR tag. So this TH is for table head. So in this table, for example, this are the table heads. So this company, contact, country are the table heads, and these are all the table data. So when you want to create a new row, you just TR and then you have your new row. So whatever you write inside, if for example I want, let's say another row of, I write, let's say each, it's going to automatically, you know, add a new row for me. That's that. So let's say we want to add table data, come below the already written table row. We'll just add another TR tag. And then with TH, let me just copy this. And then I control this. But this will be TB instead. TB, which will signify our table data. So let's say we want to write our submentors. We have John, maybe John's phone number is 24, 43, 34, and then his address is Badarawa, and then let's assume John is 30 years old. Ah, then we want to have another. No will be indented. Let's say we want to have another one. As I said, we're going to use a 4x4 sort of table. And to see, and then we should be here. We have another of our submentor. We have Victor. Let's see, Victor's phone number is 9,000. And let's see, Victor stays at Narailu first. And let's see, Victor is, I don't know, 25. Then we have another of our submentor. I use submentors only. Let's say we want to add a list of our a table for our submentor. Their address, where they stay, their phone number, blah blah blah. So that's what I'm trying to do now. We have Ebube. Let's say Ebube's phone number is 8500, and Ebube is staying at Malali, and Ebube is 20 years old. And then let's say, so what other submentor do we have? We have Yunus. Let's see, Yunus is 5031. And Yunus stays at, 'Aswa. and let's say Yunus is also 40 years old. Go back to our page. You can see that we successfully have our table, though without borders yet, which we'll add, but successfully have our table, which lists out all our sub-mentors' names, not all, but 4 of them, and their phone number, their mock phone numbers, their addresses, and their age. So this is just an example of this table in your, yeah. So does anybody have any question regarding table? Isa, do you have any question? Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
Okay, okay.
I understand. I understand.
All right, all right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Isa. Okay. So that's basically, I don't know, the basic for writing table. So now let's say we have let's see, we have table borders. We don't like the way our table is looking. It does not have borders. It's difficult to read because there are no borders, and then we want to add borders. So to add borders, we use CSS. There's no way we can put borders without CSS. I assume there was a way we can put borders without CSS. But I don't think there is. And I don't want to go to CSS today. Let's leave our borders for now. When we back CSS, we will create a very pleasant looking border with this data, with this piece of information. With this one we have here, and you know, be able to use this one. So sorry for that break in translation input. So on next. So HTML. I think we've covered a lot of things today on HTML. Like we've actually covered a lot. I don't think there's any other thing we've not covered. Yeah, but the title, I don't think there's anything we've not covered today. So we've actually gone quite far. Is there any question once again? Has everybody been able to follow along? For people that were just starting out, you've never heard of any programming language, never heard of anything code. Has has this lecture been all right for you? I'm asking specifically for such people. If you feel like the lecture has been okay so far, you can just, I don't know, give a reaction, maybe whatever reaction for newbies and stuff. So I'm hoping you've been able to understand everything that I have said. I don't want to go too far because I don't want to get into CSS today. We'll start CSS in the okay, Tali, please your question. Thank you very much.
I'm not here to ask a question. I just want to remind everybody to take attendance. The link is in the message section.
Okay, Tali is our sub mentor and he's telling everybody. Okay. He's telling everybody to fill the attendance. Attendance is crucial. Oh. Attendance is very, very crucial. So please drop your attendance. There'll be reward for people that attended. Yeah, right. So I have a question. Can I attend both sections because I am a newbie? Yes, 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 yes. You can. No, you can attend both sections if you are free. The section differences were just brought up so that in case you are not able to attend morning session, you will be able to attend evening session, basically for flexibility because not everybody that is free. Some people are also working and taking this course. So we are trying to be able to accommodate everybody. So let's say 4 weeks for HTML and CS. That's 6 days, if I am not mistaken. I think that's 8. I think that's 8, right? But trust me, if we continue and you do your assignments and everything, you would catch up. You catch up, definitely. As a newbie, you assume you can't catch up, but trust me, if you take it seriously. And it's just a boot camp. Boot camp is just to give you, to give you to shine thoughts to the road so that you know where to go. It's just for after this boot camp, you just like what I said recently, when you are reading documentation as a developer. If, for example, now, like you are writing, let's say React, for example, or JavaScript here, and then a code base has been depreciated or the way it was written has been changed. If we are doing a cohort and we are done, it is left to you to go back and keep reading and keep following the latest trends so that get you'll be able to keep up. Well, that's basically it. But trust me, you will definitely understand. Yeah. We'll try to keep the morning sessions and evening sessions as similar as possible too, so that we won't be, faster than shadows. But anyway, yeah. Is there any other question? Is there any part of this lesson so far you've not understood? So that I will go over it again. Okay. I don't think there's any question that I have missed. Okay, so I'm hoping everybody understands. Let me just give a quick, recap of what we did today. It's almost 6 p.m. and it's almost, closing time. So we started with, HTML, basics of HTML. So HTML is Hypertext Markup Language, and it is a standard markup language for web pages. There are a lot of markup languages. We have XML, we have XHTML, we have LaTeX, I think. There's also SGML, something like that. But yeah, HTML is standard. Then we talked about different IDE. We talked about why Visual Studio Code is more, Visual Studio Code is more popular. So I think we also spoke about that. Okay, Issa, please, do you have any question?
I say, can I use HTML to load your website without involving CSS or JavaScript?
Sorry, please. Yeah, I can't hear you.
I say, can I use HTML only to develop your website without involving CSS or JavaScript?
Yes, in a sense, you actually can. But
Only
your
HTML.
website is going to look like this. It's going to be something like this. It's going to look very web one. It's going to look very, CSS
Oh no.
is needed.
So what's the use of the CSS in the HTML?
Yes. So CSS is to style. How I used to describe HTML and CSS is that, for example, you are building your house and you finish building with block. You call people to build the blocks for you. You can actually decide to live in that house. But then, if people are passing, they'll say, why is this person staying in uncompleted building? The building never finished now. It's not as if you cannot live there, but the building is not complete. So CSS is like, okay, after I now finish building my house, my block as the foundation, comment, I'll now plaster the wall, you know, paint the house, roof the house, something like that. That's like the way I can visualize it for you. You get. So then people are passing say, this house is fine, this house is looking better because why would somebody be living in an uncompleted building when you can have a completed building? I don't know if you get my point. So that's how I can explain it for you. Do you get?
Yes.
Okay. And you can also create a website with just HTML and CSS. You can decide, let me leave it like that. But back to the explanation with a building, JavaScript would look like this. Let's say after you finish building, you paint your house, you have put fan, put bulb, put everything. Let's assume JavaScript is the socket in the wall, the wiring, the plumbing, so that if you put on your switch, light bulb will be on. If you untap, water will come, something like that. So JavaScript just adds functionality to it. You can decide to leave just HTML and CSS, but all of them supposed to work hand in hand. And this is a front end, this is a front end course. Yeah, teaching to be a front end developer. The front end, you have to work hand in hand with all these languages to, build something, something that is visually appealing and is also has enough, logic, you know, for for users and stuff like that. So I hope you understand. With these few points of mine, I've been able to make you understand why you need the three working hand in hand.
Yes, yes, I understand. That means CSS is the way of the building, interior.
You said?
Yes, I do understand. Thank you.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much.
Um,
Thank you very much. All right. Any other question? Okay. Let me move on to continue recapping about what we spoke about today. So we're able to use Visual Studio Code. For people that use Linux, is there anybody that use Linux operating system here and do not have Visual Studio Code installed before?
I do. I have. I do. I use Linux.
Okay. Is it Ubuntu?
Yeah, it's Ubuntu.
Okay, were you able to install Visual Studio Code?
Yeah.
Okay.
That,
If you but was your were you able to use your terminal to like finish the installation?
yeah. I do. I can.
Okay, okay, okay. So if anybody here has Ubuntu or any Linux, and they are having problems with installation or Visual Studio Code, you can put up your hands and you can have a quick walkthrough on how to properly install it and get it running on Ubuntu. Okay, I'm assuming everybody's on track. Tali, please, can you put up your mic? Okay, thank you. Okay, so I'm assuming everybody was able to install and get their Visual Studio Code running. I'm assuming we all had the hands-on session that when the assignment is given, we all know, how to go about it. So, okay. I talked about heading and I talked about how we have H1 to H6. H1 is, the biggest and H6 is the smallest basically. We talked about lists. On that list, we talked about ordered list on ordered list, and we'll talk about the list element, the li for the whatever list data we want to use. We also talk about buttons, and we said that buttons are used to create clickable elements that perform specific actions. So we got into how to basically create a button. Let me go up. So we got into how to create a button. We also talked about images. We saw how to, basically style images. We also had our image as a link. We made our image a link. We saw how to use links to, move from page to page to navigate our way on our web page. If on our web page we want, for example, now, let me use this example. I say, follow me on Twitter. Let's say I want you to follow me on Twitter now. I'll just put it. When you click on the link that say follow me on Twitter, it will carry you to my Twitter page. So those are basic things we can use, click links for and stuff like that. Then we talked about um comments, why comments are necessary in code and stuff. We also talked about indentation. I spoke about indentation and why you need to indent your code properly. I told us to, for people that came late, we installed Prettier extension and Lifesaver. So we installed Prettier. Prettier is just for making your code pretty, to indent it properly if you have indentation problems. But you might not be able to wrap your head around the whole indentation stuff. If you have Prettier as an extension, once you click Ctrl S, it's supposed to properly indent your code for you. My Prettier was not working today. I still have no idea why. Probably I would, refresh the installation. That'll be later. But that's what Prettier extension will help you to achieve. And then what else did we speak about? We also spoke about forms, HTML forms. We said our forms are used to create forms basically for user input and stuff. If you want to collect input data on your web page, website, whatever, you use forms there and create forms there. Talk about form attributes. The basic form attributes like action, methods, label, for type, ID, name, placeholder. Spoke about those, and there are other form attributes you can go home and read about, those specific attributes, but those are just like basic ones. Yeah. So we talked about What else? What else? What else? What else? Let me see. We talk about these because they are containers or containing includes our code. So they are containers, they don't perform specific actions, but they are just used for, creating more structure basically. So our code, our HTML. I don't know if it's code, that's it code. Code sounds wrong, but HTML code, let's put it that way. Yeah, we also saw tables. Yeah, we talked about tables lastly. We saw how to create borders, a basic border with HTML. Talked about um, getting external links from other files, how to use it in href and src, which is the source and href in attribute. And then what else? I think that's basically the recap. We saw text formatting, tags. We saw I for italics. If you want your your text come out written italics, use the I tag. We saw the strong, we saw the bold. There are other types, but these are just the basic ones. There are a lot. You can go home and read about it. Yeah. And then we saw how to use table rules and table heads, table data while creating our tables. So I said that we'll style our tables when we start CSS next class. We know how to style our tables, make them look more appealing, visually appealing, and stuff like that. So assignments will be dropped shortly. Okay, can I use Eclipse for my JavaScript program when the time comes? You can actually use any ID of your choice, honestly. But the recommended one, I don't know how Eclipse environment works. I have never used it. I think the only other ID I've used apart from VS Code or Java, I think IntelliJ. Yeah, I think I've used that one. And I will still pick VS Code over and over again. I don't know how Eclipse works, but Visual Studio Code, honestly, is just the best for software development. There are a lot of extensions that I don't know if you'll be able to find the other IDEs available for in Visual Studio Code and even GitHub. Because keep and GitHub because of this this cohort. Yeah. For iPhone users, can you use Coda for HTML? I don't know. Me, I'm an Android user. I don't know how to use iOS. But so long as it's a code editor, you can be able to use it. For me, the Android that they use, I don't know what you're talking about. But I'm hoping you are using your Mac, not your phone, for for coding. I'm hoping you have a laptop, but you definitely need a laptop in time. So, yeah. Once again. Is there any question that anybody would like to ask? Is there any question that anybody wants to ask? Because I think I've covered what I'm supposed to cover today, okay, thank you for asking your question. What's your question? Yunus, what is your question? Yunus, can you hear me? How
Yeah, good
about
afternoon. Good
the...
afternoon.
Okay,
Can you
okay.
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Please, I just want to talk with the yeah, I just want to mention that if anyone have any further question that he was not able to ask here, they can just post it on the group or on the Discord channel, then we will address it properly there. And for
Yeah,
the image resources and some other resources, we will post it on the WhatsApp and the Discord channel. So thank you.
yeah. Thank you very much, So if you have any question, you can post it on I think the Discord channel has a particular channel for question. I don't know. But after this call, I'll check and probably add it to the WhatsApp group so that if you have any questions to ask concerning, you want to ask it on the Discord channel, you can do the appropriate channel to ask and it will definitely be answered. And who knows, whatever question you are having, somebody else might also be having it. Okay, the Discord link. I have posted the Discord link a lot. So, okay, thank you very much, Venus. Thank you so much. Our sub mentor with the pamper. Thank you so much, Venus. Yeah. So, how about David Lloyd for Android users? Ita, are you using your phone for this bootcamp? Hello, sir. Are you using your mobile phone for the code for this? Okay, I don't know if Isa can hear me, but I am hoping you have your laptop. You can use any code editor of your choice, but it is okay. What is the WhatsApp group? Please help us with the WhatsApp group link. Thank you. Ali, what questions do you have?
It's not a question. For those that don't have a laptop, if you're using Android, you can download Anwriter, AN Writer. It's a very good
Okay,
code editor. You can run your JavaScript and any other code there.
okay. You know that all hands are not equal. Not everybody has. Whose mic is Mr. Your? Can you mute your mic or do you have a question? Mr. Do you have a question? Okay, you don't. All right. You know that all hands are not equal. So people cannot afford, you know, a laptop. If it is your mobile phone you have for now, can you repeat the code editor you said is available for Android users on mobile phone again? I don't know.
AN Writer.
Okay, please can you add it to the dialog box so that everybody can see? Okay. It's actually using laptop. Okay, and you can just add it to the dialog box. The AN writer to write it. Thank you. So if you don't have a laptop and it's your mobile phone you are using, okay, coder is for iPhone user. All right, no problem. So I hope we've had a great time in today's class. I hope everybody were able to understand one or two. If you don't understand anything, if you're not able to understand certain things, and probably you cannot ask here. My phone number was dropped, and you can see on my screen. My phone number was dropped here. You can reach out to me. You can ask questions on Discord. You can reach out to our able sub mentor John. John would, give you answers on whatever you have. Yeah. So Thank you very much to everyone that's attended the class. I hope to see you on Thursday, same time, 3 p.m. And yeah, so thanks to everybody for coming. Assignments will be dropped on Discord. Okay, Yunus, what do you have to say?
Yeah, I just want to say that the WhatsApp link will be sent to the Discord channel. I couldn't get it now, but it will be sent to the Discord channel. So the person should just join the Discord. Then while we get the link to the WhatsApp link.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay, okay. So you heard it will be dropped on probably the announcement channel. Yes, the announcement channel of Discord. It will be dropped there. Please be sure to follow any channel you see in case information is there, so that the information will not pass you by. So once again, thank you all for joining. I'm very grateful. Thanks to our sub mentors for attending, for their help today. All right. Have a nice day, everybody. Have a nice evening and enjoy the rest of your day. Yeah. Bye.